House in Chicago's famous Hotel Sherman, we invite your family to join the millions of families from coast to coast to listen to America's favorite, Don McNeil and his Breakfast Club. And here is your Toastmaster, Don McNeil.
Good morning, hallelujah. Woke up bright and early, just a hallelujah. It's first call to breakfast for all of you out there.
America, wake the Breakfast Club is on the air.
You know, this town is so full of people that you see big shots all over the place. You never know who you're talking to when you walk down the street. And it's swarming with reporters. There are over 5,000 of them here in town, and you got to be careful who you talk to. They said there was one politician who was buttonholed by a fellow yesterday, and the politician gladly gave him all the facts, you know, about himself, told him everything he could about himself, and when he finally got through, the politician found out that he'd enlisted in the Marines. Before he was you got to watch who you're talking to, see?
That one with the bandage over there has something in common with me.
What's that?
He has a hole in his head, too.
I may be wrong, but I think you're wonderful. Dick Noel.
I may be wrong, but I think you're wonderful. I may be wrong, but I think you're swell. I like your style, say, I think it's marvelous. I'm always wrong, so how can I tell? All of my shirts are unsightly, and all of my ties are a crime. If, dear, and you I pick rightly, it's the very first time you came along saying, I think you're wonderful, I think you're grand, but I may be wrong, I may be wrong, I may be wrong.
Sam isn't the only one who's mixed up here. We got Mrs. Judith Oliver and Mrs. Ethel Mallett. One from Grand Forks, North Dakota, and the other from Cincinnati, Ohio, boys. These gals are a little mixed up, really, if you don't mind my saying so. You Mrs. Oliver?
No, I am.
Well, had to be one or the other. Now, Mrs. Oliver, you had to be married twice in France?
That's correct.
Oh, why was that?
You're
an American, aren't you?
I am an American, yes. I came from California. And I was there with my parents when I met my husband. He was in the Air Force. And it's a law in France that you must be married by the mayor of whatever village you live in.
Oh.
And so we were married a month and a half before my church wedding by the mayor of the village.
Oh, I see. First you were married by
the mayor.
By the mayor, and then the second time by
the chaplain of the base.
Oh, I see.
And then we came back to the United States.
Don't tell me you were married again.
We wanted it recorded here, so we didn't, if ever we lost the certificate, we wouldn't have to write to France.
Did you get married again here?
No, we didn't. We thought 3 times was just once too many.
Well, I would think so. Here's a kid that's really married now.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Once is enough.
Oh, boy. Now, you, Mrs. Mallett, thank you so much. You, Mrs. Mallett, haven't got that problem, but just let me read what you wrote. I have a problem, for you see, my husband is my brother-in-law, old me, and my sister is my sister-in-law, and pretty soon I'll be my own grandma. Will you explain this?
Well, us sisters married brothers.
Oh.
And I am a grandma.
Your own grandma?
No, not my own. I'm afraid not.
But your husband is your brother-in-law.
Yes, he is.
And your sister
Is
is
my
your
sister-in-law.
sister-in-law because
That's
she
right.
married brothers. And you,
That's right.
And I see.
I have some
Sounds like
advice for her.
stuff.
I have some advice for her.
What?
She ought to go out and get married again.
Once is enough.
Once is enough. Yeah, you know what you're doing. Well, Laurie Parker, here you are, only 16 years old. What do you all think of all this talk about marriage?
Well, I have a long time to think about that.
Yes, you have. You probably won't get married till you're 17.
At least. Don't wait that long.
Do you have anybody picked out or anything?
Yes, I do.
No kidding, really?
Yes, I do.
Well, now, Laurie, you're only 16. You're much too young.
Well, I'll be 17 next month.
Well, that's true. I didn't think about that. All right, sing about him then. Sing about him.
I'm as corny as Kansas in August. I'm as normal as blueberry pie. No more a smart little girl with no heart. I have found me a wonderful guy. I am in a conventional dither with a conventional star in my eye. And you will note there's a lump in my throat when I speak of that wonderful guy. I'm as strident as gay as a daisy in May, a cliche coming true. I'm bromidic and bright as a moon, happy night pouring light on the dew. I'm as corny as Kansas in August, high as a flag on the 4th of July. If you'll excuse an expression I use, I'm in love with a wonderful guy. I'm so gay, a daisy in May, a cliche coming true. I'm romantic and bright as the moon, pouring light on the dew. I'm as corny as Kansas in August, high as a flag on the 4th of July. If you'll excuse an expression I use, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with the wonderful guy.
Okay, you've convinced us, all right. You're a junior in North Hollywood High. Is he still in high school, too?
No, he graduated UCLA in June. He goes to NYU Dental School in September.
Oh, you're going to marry a dentist, huh?
Yes.
You say he graduated, well, you must be 4 years older than you are.
He was 21 June 15th.
An older man.
You're going to marry an older man. Goodness, isn't that something? Well, I think it's wonderful. Young love. Nice to see, isn't it, Sam?
Nice to see how it happened to other people.
Yes, sir. Before we go any farther this morning, I have a little food for thought for you, a little crumb I'd like to throw out on your breakfast table, if I may. Teenagers, are you listening? Does it seem like the old folks are kind of slowing down? Letting life pass them by? Why don't you do something about it? Ask for the key to the garage. And come out with the lawnmower. That'll get them. How's your dog doing this morning? Mrs. McSherry is here. She's in Milton, Massachusetts. Lady with the name of McSherry from Milton, Massachusetts. Speaking of politics, Miss McSherry, you've got a rather cute thing that happened. Was it to your cousin?
Yes, it was. She's a doll.
What was she doing?
She was teaching first-grade children in school. She was teaching them the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. And one little boy said he already learned it from his older brother. And she said, well, suppose you tell us, Henry, how it goes. So he said, very solemnly, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the Republicans for which it stands.
Very cute. Thank you. Yes, sir. All right, Dick. A little song from you, if you please.
Run along home and jump into bed. Say your prayers and put down your head. Now we must part, so promise me true. You dream of me and I'll dream of you. After the dancing is done, after the evening is through, after I've taken you home, what can we do? After we count all the stars, after we wish on the moon, after we vow to be true, here's what to do. Run along home and jump into bed. Say your prayers and put down your head. Now we must part, so promise me true. You dream of me, and I'll dream of you.
Thank you, Dick. Real pretty, and that brings us to our hymn time with Lori Parker.
Abide with me, fast falls the eventide. The darkness deepens, Lord, with me abide. When other helpers fail and comforts flee, help of the helpless, oh, abide with me.
Which brings us to our moment of silent prayer, in which I ask you, each in his own words, each in his own way, for a world united in peace, let us bow our heads and pray. Amen. For memory time this morning, I continue with you reading from June McCall's magazine, Leo Roston's group of little stories from great religions. This morning from the Hebrew. There was a rabbi who was famed for his learning and his wit, and he once was asked by his students why he so often illustrated a truth by telling a story. And he said, that I can best explain through a story. It's a parable about parable itself. Now, there was a time when truth went among men unadorned, just as naked as his name. And whoever saw truth turned away in fear or in shame and gave him no welcome. So, truth wandered through the lands of earth, rebuffed and unwanted. One day, most disconsolate, he met Parable, strolling along happily in fine and many-colored garb. Parable asked